Welcome to What's in the Works, a Prince George's County Department of Public Works and Transportation podcast. Today's show is hosted by Public Information Officer Nia Brown, and this first episode kicks things off with a closer look at the processes and the people that move the agency forward. From your morning shower to the roads outside of your home, your streetlights, and the bus that gets you where you need to go, DPW&T has a hand in it all. And today we're joined by Deputy Director Stacy Smalls to tell us all about it. We will also welcome Special Assistant Laura Lynn Clay to What's in the Works to share the journey that brought her to DPW&T and how the work of the agency impacts communities.
Stacy, welcome. Thanks so much for being a part of our first conversation here at What's in the Works.
I'm very pleased to be your inaugural interviewer.
Yes, absolutely. You know, we're so happy to have you because of your perspective and all the knowledge that you bring. We know that you were in the military prior to here, so kind of walk us a little bit through that experience and how you ended up over here in Prince George's County.
You want the long story or the short one? Because I can go long, but I'm sure all the listeners don't want that actual.
Let's get the synopsis version of how you made it.
I'll give you the synopsis version. Public service is very important to me. And as I looked at what I wanted to do with college-wise, I wanted to do something in engineering. But I also needed to pay for college.
Okay.
So I went into the military to get money to pay for college. And what it ended up doing was it led me into a long path of serving people. And I got the bug. The first time I heard the national anthem, it sent chills up my spine. We did retreat. I've heard the national anthem at events, ball games,
right.
But then when I actually had to perform a ceremony for it, it then put a deep ingrained purpose of what public service was.
Wow.
And that made me say, this is probably what I'm supposed to be doing. Stayed in the Army National Guard for about 12 years.
Wow.
Did that while I was in the private sector. Ended up deploying to Iraq for a year.
I was going to ask, how long was that?
It was a year. Funny thing, the orders actually said 999 days, but that was with the purpose of letting you know they may need you for a period of time that's longer than 30 days.
And that would have been 3 to 4 years.
That would have been 3 to 4 years, exactly. It was a year. We were very testy around that endpoint when we got back, but I enjoyed the service that I did then. I decided to go into the Air Force. During that deployment, went into the Air Force for about 11 years doing public works in the Air Force. And then it came time to retire from the Air Force. And I was thinking what I wanted to do thereafter. Public service came to mind. And so from there, I looked for different jobs working in local government. I got some advice from a recruiter. That recruiter gave me some ideas. I did some searching and applied, because if you look at the Air Force and how they do their hierarchy and how they provide services to the base,
right.
The base is sort of like a small city. They provide public safety services, they provide HR services, they provide logistical services, which is sort of like your busing.
All on that base.
All within that base.
I heard you guys have movie theaters.
We have movie theaters, we have hospitals, we have police stations, we have it all. It's a small city. And so you look at the services you provide to people on that base, it's similar to what local governments do. Awesome. And it made that translation from the military to local government. And I've been in local government since.
That is an awesome journey that you just described. And I know originally you're not from Prince George's, but you have been adopted into the Prince George's world.
Thank you for adopting me into the family.
Of course. Originally you're from the South.
I am originally from Georgetown, South Carolina.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So I hopefully you can't really hear the Geechee Gullah in
a little bit, but we enjoyed it.
Okay, great. Yeah, but South Carolina, right along the coast where Myrtle Beach is, smack dab in the middle between Myrtle Beach and Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And today is Bike to Work Day.
Yes.
We got to hear you speak with some of our elected officials earlier today.
Great event.
Some of our residents came out, of all ages, on their bikes, ready to go. Was this your first Public Works Week, or did you participate last year?
I participated last year, but keep in mind, I started perhaps right before it. April 8th was when I started last year, so I'm a year and a month right now, and it was right at the beginning of Public Works Week for the county. But I've been part of Public Works Weeks in other different places.
Gotcha. And congratulations on your year mark. Woo-hoo!
Thank you very much.
We are happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be with you.
I'm clearly excited about Public Works Week because that's next week.
Okay.
I meant to say Bike to Work Day.
Yes.
That was today, and people were out there on the roads all over, from Greenbelt to Laurel to all different parts of the county. So that's awesome. So, Stacey, for our residents who have no idea what we do or who we are, how would you convey that message of the Department of Public Works and Transportation? Because a lot of people out there don't know what we do.
Every Public Works department is different. I've been at 3 of them.
Okay.
So,
hopefully
but
it's the best.
This one is high on that, like one.
Okay.
One.
An original.
Yes, absolutely. This Public Works department, if you think about the services that we provide here, if you look within the realm of the right-of-way of the road, the things inside of that confine are the things that we take care of. So if you think about the roadway, the maintenance of it, or the new construction of it, you think about the traffic signs, the traffic signals, you think about the storm water infrastructure within it, the catch basins that's on the side of the road, you have the sidewalks, and then you may even have some trees within that confines. The things that are within that right away that the county owns, that's what we take care of within Public Works. But then there's a caveat too. We also have the bus service.
Yes.
So they're a great group within the Department of Public Works and Transportation. They contribute highly to the community, and we are so proud of them. We do that, and we get to give people rides on that infrastructure that we take care of. So it's a win-win.
It really is. And I know that we're one of the unique counties because we are a 2-in-1 county, technically. We are the Department of Public Works and Transportation, as you just mentioned. And for most people, they're separate. So in the other experiences you had in Public Works, just those agencies by themselves, how do we kind of differ?
So I've been at a municipality where transit was separate. It was its own separate department. And the very first department that I was with, the transportation portion of maintaining the roadways within the right of way for that municipality was taken care of by another department. So everywhere you go, Public Works is different.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's a different challenge, but the main thread that flows through them all is we want to take care of our residents and provide them with the best infrastructure possible. For
sure. And, that's just so important because we're not always connecting directly with residents, but we're always there. DPW&T is always kind of like that lingering ghost that's always there when they need us. And most of the time when things are going well, they don't even notice that we're there because things are going well.
Absolutely.
So, that's awesome. And of course, with our 2,000 miles of roadways that we help service, as you mentioned, as well as provide the transportation for our local transit. And we have 3 different types of transit right now for our communities, which is awesome. That is no small feat. So, we definitely appreciate you and your leadership and the things that you bring to the table.
And can I just add something?
Yes, you can.
So you're giving me a lot of praise and everything, and I love it. But there are people like yourself within the Public Works Department that drive those buses, that repair those potholes, that repair the sidewalks, that make sure those trees get planted and they're getting cut. The street sweeping people who are out there. All of those tasks are what we try to celebrate during Public Works Week.
Absolutely. And I know during Public Works Week, they have a variety of different games that they play. And, they get out there on the backhoes and just other big equipment. They have tons of fun. What's your favorite experience for Public Works Week?
My favorite part of Public Works Week is just getting out there, getting in the vehicles, looking like I don't know what I'm doing inside the vehicles. I get to sit inside of it.
Oh, okay. I guess we're operating them.
No. But I think we have an event where we were going to allow people to do like an obstacle course. And if you've got that CDL, you can get inside the vehicle and try it out. And I think it's a good way of getting people who normally don't operate a certain type of vehicle, that type of experience. And you get to learn and understand what your counterparts are experiencing day in, day out within Public Works.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Stacey, we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to play a game of our own right here on What's in the Works. This game is going to be called DPW&T Mythbusters.
All right.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions, or at least say some statements, and they're common myths or misconceptions about the agency. Okay. So we're kind of just going to, divulge into that. So our first myth is DPW&T handles trash and recycling collection.
Myth. Although in many different public works departments that we've talked about, you may have that, but within Prince George's County, that's handled by the Department of Environment. So we work with them, of course, with litter, but for the haulers who go and pick up those trash and recyclables and composting, that's the Department of Environment, excuse me.
For sure. And our next one.
Okay.
Streetlights are the county's responsibility. I feel like this goes back and forth, and some folks kind of don't know. I might be one of them because I'm also a county resident, so if you could kind of help define that.
Well, county resident, you know that we have over 60,000 lights within the county.
That's a fun fact I didn't know.
There you go. Now, when you have your conversation with your neighbor, you can let them know, hey, fun fact, you know that the county has 60,000 streetlights within the realm of it. That's taken care of by the utility company, the electric company. We do partner with them. So we're in the process of working to get some of these lights to produce more efficient lighting. So we're swapping those older lights out with LEDs, save energy. It's better for our environment. We work with them. We plan that out. And of course, we add about 200 lights. I say we, but it's us and in working with the electric company. We add about 200 lights a year on average to that system. So it continues to grow. But it's a partnership. They own it, but we work together to swap out the lights for more efficient lighting.
And do maintenance. Awesome. That's really, really interesting, and I never knew that. So I will share that fun fact with someone today.
Look at that.
Okay, our next myth. DPW&T only works during the day.
That is a myth.
Don't we know it?
Yes, if we talk to some of our dispatch people, they would probably say, oh, can I go just a day? We have a 24/7 personnel sitting within that dispatch area to take any type of emergency calls that may occur. And that's if we have a windstorm, rainstorm in the middle of the night, then we also have that dispatch person calls an on-call person who then responds to that. So Public Works is a 24/7 operation, and that's just regular operation. We're not talking about your storms.
The 4-letter word.
Snow.
Yes.
Another 4-letter word, rain.
Yes.
We respond to those as well when you have those large torrential rains. But we respond in times of non-emergency weather operations, if there's something, and we also respond 24/7, of course, during snow. You remember that fondly. We were all there together working those shifts. So it's all for making sure that our residents have dependable infrastructure.
For sure.
That's what we're about.
Awesome. Well, Stacey, thank you so much for joining us today and providing us with these new fun facts.
Absolutely.
And just additional information about the agency.
All right, no problem. Glad to be with you. Glad to be the first one here. And of course, you want me back, I'll have some more stories for you.
Absolutely.
All right. Appreciate it.
Lynn, welcome, and thank you so much for being on our first episode of What's in the Works, Department of Public Works and Transportation podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And of course, we know that your name is Laura Lynn Clay, and you are joining us here today, but we call you Lynn. I'm pretty sure all your loved ones call you Lynn as well.
That's right.
So we can kind of just dive on in. Tell us a little bit about your role at DPW&T.
I was hired as a program specialist at Office of Highway Maintenance, and I supported the associate director on any and all initiatives from the county exec office.
That's impressive. And we know that division takes care of quite a few things for our agency. You guys handle tree trimming.
Everything.
Everything. I'm like, potholes. And then you did your transition from there over to the office of the director.
Yes. So it was a smooth transition. The relationships were that I have here were already established and workflows. So the shift from Office of Highway Maintenance to the Office of Director was effortless.
Was it hard? I know you said it was effortless, but I guess it wasn't really much to it.
No, it wasn't hard because, well, for one, it was the 4-mile change. So I'm happy. But, Office of Highway Maintenance is 6 miles from my home, and here is 10 miles.
Okay.
So it wasn't much of a change there.
Gotcha.
And then workload increased, of course, because I do more data analytics here.
Okay. A little bit more number crunching.
Yes.
And the reason that we even started this podcast is because we wanted to widen our reach with our audience, with our county residents, about what we do here at DPW&T. Time and time again, people will ask me, like, well, what does your agency do? What do you guys cover? And we try to give them as much information as we can. But with you here today, I would love to kind of just dive in a little bit more about women in our agency. Because according to the stats, we don't make up a large number of the employees at all.
This is true.
Yeah, I'm like, in fact, they said that we make up less than 30% of the employee force across the nation, pretty much, for the public works industry. So you being a woman in this particular field, how does that make you feel? Or how did it, even resonate with you to want to apply for such an agency?
I mean, that's true. And I think women are underrepresented because women, or most people, think that this field is all dump trucks and snow plows and, filling potholes, as you said. And they associate public works with that. But we're so much more than that. We're so much more than plowing snow.
Absolutely. And like you just said, I know that you don't think this is true, but do you think that this is intentional? That it's, I know you and I are here. I can count on my hand how many women I kind of see throughout the days when I'm out there in the field. What do you think about that?
It's intentional. It's intentional for me. Like I say, my core values are aligned with the mission here at Public Works. Even my Peloton name is Long Life Lynn, so it reflects my passion for longevity and quality of life. And so we're all about serving people here. We serve our community and we serve one another.
I love what you just said about the quality of life, because we truly are here at DPW&T kind of like the heartbeat of the county. We serve in so many different capacities, ensuring when people first get on the roads, while they're commuting to work, or when they're turning on their shower, after having a long day. We're kind of involved with every single person.
This is true.
Yeah. Okay. So, we want to learn a little bit more about, our residents and kind of how they feel about DPW&T. When, you're kind of out there and you're working for the OD's office, are you ever going to any events or, out there in the community?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I guess, what do you hear sometimes when you're out there in the community?
Everyone connects DPW&T with roads, potholes, trip hazards, anything dealing with safety, accessibility, transportation. So everyone always has lots of questions about that.
Okay. And I guess, what do you say when people ask you, what do we do? Like, how do you really respond? If you had about 30 seconds to tell them.
I say we plan, we construct, and we maintain safe and accessible roads, bridges, and transportation systems. Like, as you said, DPW&T or Public Works is the heartbeat of this county. It's the bread and butter of the community. And so, every single day we work to enhance where we live to improve quality of life.
Absolutely. Well, Laura Lynn, thank you so much for joining us today. We
You're welcome.
truly enjoyed hearing
Thanks
from
for having
you.
me.